Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Target Focus Life. My name's Steve. And today we have the Retay Gordion in 20 gauge. So if you're looking for a detailed and in-depth review, you've come to the right place. Let's go! I'm just not the same when I don't have energy and focus. After all, this is Target Focus Life. One of my favorite products from Mountain Ops is Ignite. I have an Ignite almost every morning. It's got like 200 milligrams of caffeine. Gets me jacked up, but not too jacked up, you know what I mean? But what I love most is it has elements in here, ingredients, I won't read them off, but it helps with focus, like clarity and focus. I really feel like I can start my morning out strong, whether I'm in the office or in the field. And this Mountain Ops Ignite Light is a new product, half the caffeine. So I sometimes like another shot of Ignite in the afternoon. I just mix it in with my water, and I don't have to get too much caffeine in the afternoon. I like to tone it down so it doesn't affect my sleep. So I just want to give a huge shout out to Mountain Ops. They make awesome stuff, but we better get back to the video. Let's go! Oh, also, if you want a discount, I got a discount code in the description. All right guys, I'm excited about this review. I have never shot a Retay until today. I just reviewed the Masai Mara. That review should already be up by the time this review comes out. And now I'm shooting the Gordion. So I'm super stoked about this because one, it's a new gun, and two, it's a 20 gauge. I love shooting 20 gauges. So let's dive in right off the bat with specs. So this is a 20 gauge inertia-driven shotgun. The Gordion is available in 12 gauge as well. 3-inch chamber, of course. MSRP of this shotgun in the walnut, this is actually called the Gray Con with the grade receiver. Looks really sharp, is $9.99. But if you're just to get the synthetic version, MSRP is around $8.99. So very affordable shotgun. They are made in Turkey by Retay. This does have a 28-inch barrel on it. Let's see what it comes out at. The weight of this shotgun is 6 pounds, 2 ounces on this one, making it a very nice light gun to carry in the field. I love that. I'm a little concerned on what recoil is going to feel like. We got a light inertia operated shotgun, so we'll see here in a little bit when we get to recoil and reliability. When it comes to length of pull, on the website it says 14.37 inches. I don't know what 0.37 is, so I'm just going to go ahead and measure it. I'm getting 14 and 5/16, just over 14 and a quarter inches long. That's gonna be short for me. I don't know about for you, but it's gonna be short for me. I do know they make a compact model that has spacers. So I assume that they have or will have soon spacers that you can adjust length of pull, because I'm going to need at least another ½ inch on this shotgun for me. When it comes to the drop and the cast, that is adjustable. If you want to see how to do that, what that looks like, we did that in the Masai Mara video. You can definitely check that out. But basically, it's replacing the shims that go right here. And that affects your cast, how your stock is bent, left or right for left or right hand shooters, and then how much drop you have to your stock as well. This shotgun is the 28-inch version. Like I said, also available in 26-inch options. One last thing I like to do when I take a look at specs is just feel that trigger. Feels decent, nice crisp break. Is it lighter than the gun itself? No, which I didn't. It's close, it's close. Right around 7, maybe slightly under 7 pounds. We'll stop guessing because history has shown I'm kind of terrible at that. Jordan says 6.5. I say 6 pounds, 12 ounces. Jordan says 6 pounds, 8 ounces. Ooh, 6 pounds, 6.4 ounces. Nice. We'll enter that one. Let's get another trigger pull here. 6 pounds, 5.6 ounces. 6 pounds, 6.7 ounces. Pretty consistent on the trigger pulls. We come in at 6 pounds, 6 ounces. So not terrible. I wouldn't mind it, maybe a little bit lighter, but that's definitely a decent trigger for a shotgun at this price point. No complaints there. Now this gun does come with 5 flush mount choke tubes by Retay. It's the Mara Pro choke system, they call it. Any gun that I'm gonna keep that I really, really like, I'm gonna switch out for Carlson's. As always, I got a link and discount code in the description if you ever want to buy any Carlson's aftermarket choke tubes made here in the United States with a lifetime warranty. Let's jump into ergonomics, the look, the feel, the function. Recoil pad. Just moderately decent. I mean, there's not a whole lot of give to it. Basic design. Probably would want a Falcon Strike, but we'll reserve that until we actually shoot it and test recoil. Looking at the stock, it's grade 2 Turkish walnut. They say they have a no compromise Turkish walnut. They don't do grain enhancement, which basically Retay says is covering up for imperfections in the stock. So they don't use stocks that have imperfections. I do gotta say, it's pretty nice looking wood for a gun at this price point. Pretty impressed with it. Decent checkering, nice design. The forend, I really like the forend. I like the contours, reminds me of other guns that I've shot, other inertia guns. Good texturing, good grip, very beautiful wood for a sub $1,000 shotgun. I'm actually really impressed. It's a nice looking gun. When it comes to the controls, nothing special on the safety here. We have a crossbolt safety on the backside. It is rather small. Yeah, kind of a pain to get to. Like when I go to push for it, I kind of hit the receiver and slide off the receiver. You would get used to that over time, I'm sure. I don't love it, but it's all right. When it comes to the controls, just a normal bolt handle, normal bolt release. I've seen some smaller, some that are harder to push, but it's not overly easy. Just shot the Masai Mara. It's got a real nice bolt release, super easy to slap. Trigger guard. A little bit on the bigger side, maybe. Totally adequate to load this shotgun. They do have it milled out and dropped down. If we look square at the receiver, it is cut out a little bit there. But I noticed as I was warming up and shooting this gun, the edges inside right here are still rather sharp. Don't love that. And to load it, I really got to get my thumb up in there. I wish they would cut the forward part of this receiver out a little further forward so I can slam the shell in. A lot of 20 gauges are just challenging to load. They're already narrow to begin with. Nothing too out of the norm. Balance wise, it does feel light in the forward end. This would be a great field gun. I would even potentially take this grouse hunting. Balance point's about right there. Feels pretty good in the hands, to be honest with you. We have a flat rib that's vented, comes flat off the receiver. They put this indentation right at the front of the receiver. I'm guessing that's to help eliminate any obstruction as your eye is going down the receiver. Red fiber dot on the front, blued barrel, forend cap, easy to get your hands on. Overall, really like the ergonomics of this gun. Reaching for the trigger, I do notice, is a little better than the Masai Mara. It's still a bit of a stretch for me. I notice on these Retay guns, it's a little bit longer distance, it seems like, just anecdotally from the grip to the trigger. I'm really having to stretch, and I'm kind of rubbing just a little bit on the receiver there, but not real bad. Grip feels moderately comfortable. Okay, let's look at recoil reliability. This is a 20 gauge. I'm not anticipating a lot of issues with recoil. 20 gauge is very comfortable to shoot. These inertia guns in the sub gauges aren't quite as reliable as gas guns. That is for sure, I've noticed that. But let's see how the Gordian does. Recoil. Right off the bat, didn't eject. I've already got a box of shells through this gun. I've already cleaned it, so we shouldn't have too many issues. That's 2 in a row, not ejecting. In warm-ups, I did have some issues. Not totally uncommon in a brand new gun, but now I'm really having issues. Come on, little guy. Why don't you want to shoot? Now, these are target loads. These are 7/8 ounce target loads. Stovepipe. I would not anticipate those issues. Recoil feels fine. It's a little heavier than it's going to be in a gas gun. Obviously, we're shooting a inertia gun. Okay, let's try some pheasant loads. These are Federal Prairie Storms, 3-inch, 1.25 ounces versus 7/8 ounce. I mean, that's a big difference. Let's just see how this handles recoil, how it operates. That has some punch. As you can see, no issues with operation. But for a hunting load, that's got a lot of recoil. We are a light gun, a light inertia gun. You're gonna be asking for recoil. Already off the bat, I'm thinking a Falcon Strike would definitely help. I have a link to Falcon Strike if you wanna check them out. Let's go back to the target loads. not so good. What's kind of baffling me right now is I didn't have this many issues when I was shooting the last box. Well guys, if it doesn't shoot from the hip, it's... Usually if it doesn't shoot from the shoulder, it doesn't shoot from the hip. I was holding it pretty stable there. That was interesting. You know, I'm into the gun, I'm holding it tight, but for some stinking reason, it doesn't want to run from the shoulder. But it runs from the hip. You guys can't see Jordan behind the camera, but he looks as baffled as I do. In the history of ever, this has never happened. I mean, I'm into the gun as much as a guy can be. Interesting, did you see that? When I changed the angle of the gun, it operated. Was it a fluke? We shall see. Normally I don't spend this much time on recoil and reliability, but this is baffling me, guys. Okay, never mind that. Well. I don't know what I could be doing wrong. All right, well, off camera, we ran at least another box through it. It seems to be getting a little bit more reliable, but still having some issues. Yeah, I don't know. I guess a little frustrated by that. I do realize it's a newer gun, but cannot figure out. And Jordan came up here and did the same thing. Shot from the hip, and then it worked. But from the shoulder, very erratic. Now, I have noticed that inertia sub-gauges sometimes aren't nearly as reliable on target ammo. This is some lighter target ammo, but I would still anticipate this gun working with target ammo. Okay, we got the cycle there. I don't want to give up on this too early, but it's... You ever seen that? Yeah, very erratic on how it operates. I mean, the 3-inch shells, the Prairie Storm by Federal, really no issues there, other than massive recoil. Oof. I don't know what to say. Recoil's a little heavy. It's a light gun, great for field hunting, but it's not going to be light on the recoil. Even on these target loads, it's a little heavier than I would anticipate. Prairie Storm, shooting the heavy hunting load, definitely get a lot of recoil, but you know what? That's a trade-off. You want light for walking, or do you want heavy gun for walking that's going to have lighter felt recoil? One last time on the target loads. Yep, still having some issues. My hope would be that as you shoot this gun more, it breaks in and shoots a little bit more reliably. Maybe you don't shoot target loads at all. That's great. Maybe you're just going to use this for hunting. We'll see what happens by the time we get to the end of the video, because speed shooting, all that stuff, we're going to end up shooting a whole lot more, and we'll see if it breaks in and gets better. All right, let's break this Gordian down, see what we're working with inside. Let's double check that. Clear, 4-end cap. That is pretty easy. Just long threads. 4-end and barrel will come off together. Right like that. Oh, both handle comes out relatively easy. We got a 1-pin design here to punch out. Inertia plus bolt system. As we're talking about quality of build, that's not something I mentioned earlier, but the inertia plus bolt system is designed in a way that it should not go out of battery. What does that mean? That means if you pull the bolt back just a little bit, maybe you've noticed this with inertia guns, you pull the bolt back a little bit, let it go back forward. It often doesn't go into full battery and you can't shoot the shell. The Masai Mara was excellent. I'll test this one in a little bit, but I like the Inertia Plus system. They kind of have just adapted already proven inertia bolt system. I'm gonna kind of take a second to look the gun over here and just make sure there's no issues while we're having the cycling issues. So the bolt has to come back and reset the trigger. And as I'm pushing this back, it does have a lot of tension built up. And I almost wonder if the bolt's coming back to push the hammer back and it's just meeting a lot of resistance on those light shells. That could loosen up over time. Otherwise, I mean, no plastic used on this. Looks like great construction. Looks like a solid gun. Let's throw it back together. It's a simple gun, you know, as most inertia systems are. Not a lot going on, which is kind of cool for breakdown. I'm impressed with the quality of Retay so far. That slide nice and smooth. I got this oiled up with Otis dry lube, which I use in all my guns, all the reviews. That's sliding really nice. And it's kind of a pain to put back in. There we go, kind of clicked in. So if we pull the trigger, when I have to push the hammer back, I do feel a lot of tension right there, and I feel like that might be my issue. To see how much of an issue that's causing, I'm gonna go ahead and just run the bolt a whole bunch of times. See if I can get that to loosen up a little bit. All right, well, we ended up shooting more rounds through this gun. Dry run it a bunch. We're just gonna go to speed shoot and see if we still have the cycling issues. Put it on the clock, see how this bad boy shoots when the pressure's on. So off camera, I did one quick throw. Smoked all 3 clays extremely fast. I was even shooting a mod choke. I'm gonna switch it out for a cylinder here. No issues with the cycling though. That is promising, but I'm not holding my breath. Now, I forgot to point out that Retay deep bore drills their barrels. They're not hammer forged. So they take a solid piece of steel, bore it through. It's supposed to give you truer, straighter point of impacts. Let's go ahead and speed shoot. What do y'all think? How's it gonna perform? Hey, and also, by the way, if you have a Gordian, I'd love to hear your results. How has it worked for you? Have you had cycling issues? Because when you share, we all learn. Shot like a champ. Wasn't the fastest a 1, 2, 3. That was a warm up. That's what that was. But if a 1, 2, 3 is accurate, that's still pretty decent. Let's go. Maybe this Gordian's turning the corner. Shoots great. 119. Had 2.4 and 2.6 splits. That's not fast. I don't expect this gun to be fast. It's a sub gauge. It's inertia. It's not gonna be the fastest gun out there, but man, it's just coming easy after all the struggle with this gun. Okay, it can go faster. Crazy! Not a cycling issue yet. Let's hope that holds true. Woo, baby. I threw a little bit early. I got a .89, 2.2 and a 2.4 split. Point's very natural. It's too short for me, but every time I'm pulling the trigger, clays are breaking. Ooh, that was fast. Didn't hit a clay, but that was fast. I had a 1.9 split on that one. Did I throw early? Maybe a little bit. Man, there's a lot of these that aren't on camera. We don't show every shot, but I have not had an issue yet. I'm rather impressed now. Did not cheat one bit. In fact, I threw a little bit late on that one. We'll wrap up with that. A 1.14, 2.3 and a 1.9 split. Wow, that was interesting. I mean, we went from all sorts of issues, not cycling reliably, but it would cycle better from the hip, which makes no sense, to we ran through it, a bunch more ammo, and then got to speed shooting and didn't have a single issue. 0 issues. The gun shot smooth, it shot fast. If it stays like that, and I think it will, I think there was a break-in period, took a little longer than I would anticipate, but overall, a lot to like about this gun. The finish is one of the highlights for me. For the price point, a great looking gun, great looking wood. Quality gun overall. Deep bore drilled barrel, comes with 5 chokes, low lights. I'll replace this pad on the back. It is a light gun, that's not a low light. It's just a fact. It's a lighter gun, which means you have more felt recoil. So just choose wisely. If you're gonna be dusting clays all day long, maybe not a lighter gun, but if it's primarily a field gun and you're gonna shoot some clays, great. I would be happy to carry this in the field, very comfortable. The grip isn't my preferred grip size at all. I don't like how my finger comes into the trigger. Different people with different hands are gonna have different results. Feels great overall. Another thing I wish was just a little bit different on this gun was that the loading port was pushed forward a little bit so I could get that shell in a little bit easier. Not the easiest gun to load, but that is a deep look at the Retay Gordion 20 gauge. Again, if you have one of these, I'd love to know what your thoughts are. How's the gun treated you? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Share in the comments, share in the TFL community, and we'll all learn together. Remember guys, whether you're in the field or in life, you're only gonna hit those shots you're laser focused on. So live target focused. See ya!